I'm making a video, Father. You can go.
Can I go? I need to come in there.
You can go. You can go.
I gotta go in.
Hi, the life of a YouTuber.
Sorry, babe.
This is awesome. Did I say I wanted to watch a Jeffree Star Taco Bell mukbang thing? No, I did not. No, I did not. Pause. Alright, so I don't know where I was, so I'm just gonna do the intro over. Hello everybody! My house flooded, hence why I'm in this room, hence why I didn't upload last week, hence why I haven't worked on necrosis in a month. Yes, my hair got cut. I feel like Dan in his hair straightening phase. It's great. So today's video is going to be an actual review, not a reaction, a review of Double Bubbles Productionz' series Coral Cove. Now this was a series she did a little while ago while she was on vacation, so it is not her most recent series called Moonbeam's Prophecy, which I'm in, my dudes. This series, which I'm hoping to make a series of, is actually looking at model horse videos critically and not just reacting to them. I'm gonna be talking to you guys about what's working in these model horse films and what isn't and how to make them more effective. Now, a large part of the reason I decided I wanted to start doing videos like this is because of my creative writing class. On top of being a film major, I am a creative writing minor. I have really set myself up for failure, I know. But I used to have a lot of anxiety sharing my work with other people. And I was really scared to start sharing my work in my creative writing class because we do workshops. People in the class have to read it, not just the professor, and they critique it. It's actually not that bad. It has helped me figure out what I'm really good at in writing and some things I need to do to make my writing either A, make more sense, or B, be more effective. So I'm not going to be judging. I mean, essentially I am judging, but like, don't think of it in a negative way. I'm not gonna be judging model horse films to Hollywood movie film standards. No, I'm not even gonna judge them to Vengeance Reign standards. I'm going to recognize that everybody has different production values and make suggestions that are tailored towards individual creators. Another thing, I don't do any of these videos without either A, getting permission or suggestions from these creators. So I'm never going to do a review of somebody's work that they don't want any critique for. Because this is meant to help people understand this is what you're naturally good at. Here's some things to focus on to improve your craft. Because that's what this is. This is a craft. And if we're gonna put the time into it, gosh darn it, we better be learning something. So I think that was all I wanted to say on that matter. This isn't supposed to be a negative thing. This is supposed to be a positive thing. I'm gonna highlight good things, things that I liked, things I felt worked. And I'm gonna highlight some things that were a little awkward and just kinda, you know, say, hey, fix this. Nothing you guys are doing is wrong. It's just a matter of what is more effective for either this shot or this lighting situation, or, you know, can we hear what people are saying? That's a really important thing. Can we hear and see what is happening? All right, so I've got my handy dandy laptop here, and we're gonna go through the notes that I took for all 3 episodes. So, episode 1. So the very first thing I noticed while watching episode 1 was the colors. Yes, a large part of the color choice in this film was because she was on vacation somewhere beautiful that I could never afford, but another part of it was the schlikes that she chose to portray her characters. This isn't something that I personally think about when I'm casting my models, so I doubt this is something you were thinking about, but the color choices she made when selecting the characters were really nice. They made for really visually interesting and dynamic shots, which was oh, nice! So the first note I have for episode 1 is, right from the beginning we can see that you're someplace beautiful, but we don't have enough information to paint a picture of where we are. I'm pretty sure from the beginning we just panned in on the characters talking. There was no wide establishing shot. We had no idea where we were in space and time or location. Where is all of this taking place? We basically had to put it together from the fact that there's sand and there's plants and there's horses. That was all we had to go by. So an establishing shot at the beginning would have been really helpful, and you would have been able to draw us in with the beauty of this vacation spot. But I also understand that might not have been an option because There could have been other people on the beach, or there could have been like condos and hotels and gross things that you didn't want to show in this world. So it's not like a huge thing, but it would help orient the audience a little bit more and understand, okay, we're on a beach. So the next note I have is something that is pretty much consistent throughout the entire series, and that is the use of two shots. Two shots are when you have two characters in the shot and they're talking to one another. Two shots, even with people, are very boring. Two shots with model horses that don't move can get even more boring. Think of a two shot like this. You are watching two people in the cafeteria have an argument or a conversation about something. You're not really emotionally invested in what's happening. Bringing us closer to the characters via medium close-ups or over-the-shoulder shots helps bring the audience into what's happening in the story. It helps us become emotionally invested and connect with the characters versus watching them like they're kids in the cafeteria that are just there. I'm not trying to be mean. I feel like I'm sounding mean, but I'm not trying to be. There were several good examples throughout of bringing us closer to situations that were happening and giving us more emotional intimacy with the characters, such as at 102. That was a nice example. I wrote for 144 that it was effective in theory, but if Daphne is the focus, we got no emotion from her. If the leader, whose name I did not catch, is in focus, then we don't see enough of them. And then 211, I wrote, nice shot. If you are somebody out there who really struggles with understanding shots and how they work, I don't really understand cinematography that much. Literally everything I know about cinematography came from Fox Glory 123's video where she talked about how she films. I don't even know, I just started utilizing over-the-shoulder shots in everything I did, and I was like, oh, this looks nicer. And surprise, surprise, tripods actually do help. The next note I have is either a filming or an editing note or a combination of the two. I'm not exactly sure, and that is awkward cuts. There's this rule called the 30-30 rule in film. And essentially, if you cut on the same setup of a shot, the audience feels like time has passed. If you want to show that this is a different angle of the same scene, then you either have to increase the shot by 30% or change the angle of it by 30%. So by just cutting and splicing together stuff, it makes things more difficult. Now I understand that this was an improvised series, I think, so something that would really help with that is if you do have a fumble on a word, just keep going. Keep having the model horse talk and move, and later when you go into editing, if possible, re-record lines and stuff and then put those in over top. If you just don't film a clip that's long enough, that is when I would say overcompensate. Oh gosh, the cats are fighting. Film like 30-second clips. T'Challa. Film 30-second clips of characters talking from one shot, then move to another shot. Guarantee. If you overcompensate, it'll help. Trust me, I overcompensate for everything. So my final note on episode 1 was, in terms of how the action is set up in episode 1, obviously not an action-packed episode. This is completely fine, but there is the issue of not engaging the audience. My suggestion, bring the audience closer to the events unfolding. Bring us physically closer to the characters more often. When you do this, your shots are stunning. The color balance and saturation is enchanting. Bring me to that world, invest me in those characters, make me feel like this is my life, man. I hate myself so much. Moving on to episode 2. Episode 2 opened with T'Challa. as I was saying, again, episode 2 opens with a wide shot. It's great, helps me establish where I am, what's happening. Good job. At 44 seconds, is he meant to be our focus? Is his reaction really that important, or is his devious friend more important in this situation? So when you're setting up your shots and deciding what character is going to be in focus, a lot of that has to relate with the dynamics between the characters and power in the scene. So if you've got a character who is being mischievous and plotting something, then you're probably going to want to put the focus on them. Or if the reaction of the other character is more important, you're going to put the focus on them. So decide who you wanted to be in focus and just play with that. I don't think this was one that I was like, hey, yo, you focused on a character that wasn't talking, that's wrong. That's not the case. You can focus on a character that's not talking, and that helps increase drama, and pans help us understand how this character is reacting to the situation. I think I just wasn't completely sure on whether or not it was a flub or a choice. So just make it a little bit more noticeable next time. Next note I have is just audio levels. The music at one point was really overpowering, and in addition to the wind and ambience of what was already happening in the shot, it was like, whoa, that's a lot of sound. One thing I want to point out before I get into episode 3 is that you started utilizing a lot of the things that I had wished were in episode 1, more so in episode 3. And I think a lot of that is getting more comfortable with your environment, getting more comfortable with your characters and maybe your equipment on a beach. I was told by a director I was working with that a lot of times if you look at TV shows of any kind, they don't really start having a formula until episode 6 because that's when everybody is comfortable with each other. So I think that was what was happening. It was just, you know, a comfort thing. I don't know. Because you filmed this all on one vacation, so it's not like there was a large gap in time between filming episodes. So I don't know what caused it, unless you were like reviewing footage you filmed and then saying, oh, I can do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and then going out and filming and then saying, oh, I can do this, 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 and this when you like review your footage, which I wouldn't do that if I was on vacation. Already you're utilizing more intimate shots, brings us closer and makes things far more interesting. You want some critique still? Use the 30-30 rule, which I already mentioned, which I guess I jumped the gun and got ahead of myself. Now is when I get to, you selected your models well, there's a nice color setup in the shots to keep things visually interesting, sets them apart from the already incredibly beautiful environment. They're not overwhelmed by the scenery, but instead reside in it. This is something many model horse films and even live action films tend to struggle with. That is a much more... I am a much better writer than I am a speaker. I have just noticed. The next note I have is audio levels. Again, the music was a little too loud and the wind was again loud, but you know, there's nothing you can do about wind if, you know, but the audio levels in terms of the music. Again, just going in and re-recording is a fix, but if you're on vacation uploading, then it's not as much of an issue and you can ignore this whole thing. I know in Moonbeam's Prophecy, which I shouldn't discuss, but I'm going to discuss, there was an audio issue with, I think, I don't know whose mother, somebody's mother, and I could not hear her even with headphones. I was like, what? What? But literally, that was it. I didn't comment anything though, because other people were getting on your butt for it, and I was like, be nice. And fixing audio levels, I don't know what editing software you use, but I'm pretty sure you could fix that with Audacity, which is a free audio editing software. So if that is an issue that you don't know how to work with, I'm pretty sure Audacity would help with that. But that, again, if it's a technological issue or you just don't have the equipment for it, then, you know, can't do anything about it. It's, you know. And my last comment that I made was, I really like the music choice during the fight. Very fresh, unique, and honestly seemed to fit better with the world you've created than a lot of your traditional, like, Celtic Norse gods are having a war type music that you hear. which, not to say that there's anything wrong with those, but this was different, it was unique, and fit a lot better. If there had been like some bagpipes that just started playing, I'm sure you would have made a good choice, but the choice you made was already really nice. So I've got 45 seconds before my memory card runs out of memory. So that was my review. I hope that was helpful. If it wasn't helpful, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I suck. You know, that's what I am looking and hoping that I can do, is help people learn a little bit more about what it is that they're doing naturally that looks nice, and what are some things that can be more effective to make their craft better. Because again, this is a craft, this is hard work, and I know I wish I had had this growing up, because oh my gosh, that was amazing if you look at my stuff. Alright, I will see you guys later. Bye.